Um, so, hi, I'm Mercy, Kenya's national chess champion. So, welcome to my 7-day challenge. I want to teach my cousin chess within chess days. Within 7 days, I want to see if it's going to be possible. If he manages to win me a game within 7 days, we are good to go. So, come with me as I teach my cousin chess for 7 days non-stop. Each day we learn chess. So I hope we'll do it.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Fifth, and I'm Mercy's cousin. And yeah, as she said, I'm a beginner in chess, and yeah, I would love to know chess. Currently, I know nothing about chess. I don't even know how to play it. So let's see if I will learn and be able to beat her at a game.
With me here we have a board. So Edgar, I'll name all the pieces first. A quick one. So this is the rook or the castle.
Okay.
It is 5 points. So this is the knight. It is 3 points. This is the bishop. It is 3 points. This is the king. King has no points. You can just say it's infinity. This is the queen. It has 9 points. Bishop has 3. Knight has 3. Rook has 5 points. And then now we have the pawns. Each pawn is 1 point. You understood?
What do you mean by points?
So the pieces have values as well. The different pieces have different values. That is, the values are what I'm saying. They are points. So a rook has 5 points. Knight has 3. Bishop 3. King infinity. Then queen 9. Pawn is 1 point. So this challenge, you should be able to give me a checkmate within 7 days, or okay, after 7 days of learning chess with me. Okay, so I think we can begin. We can begin the class. So with me here, I'm presenting a board. The chessboard has pawns. We have 3 white pawns, 3 black pawns, and then we have a king and a king. But now, for a starter, we'll start with the pawns. I want him to know the pieces, but I will go piece after piece. So today we start with the pawns. So how do the pawns move? So with me here, I have these pawns. Normally, white starts the game. So a pawn is 1 point, cousin. A pawn is 1 point. So the pawn, they move on a straight line, always on a straight line, but then they capture diagonally. A pawn
Okay,
can
so they cannot go backwards.
Yes, they cannot go backwards. And another
Oh,
interesting thing about the pawns, once they reach uh, opponent's other side, you are allowed to promote a bigger piece. You're allowed to bring a bigger piece into the board. You can choose to bring back a queen. You can choose to have a rook, a bishop, or a knight. So you're not allowed to promote a king or another pawn. But once the pawn reaches at the furthest end, you're allowed to promote. So as I've said, the pawns, they only move forward, they don't come backwards. And yeah, so when the pawns are starting, they're in the initial starting rank, they can perform a charge move. Let me explain what a charge move is. A charge move is whereby a pawn can jump 1 square. So now when you have this, like right now we have these pawns here. So this pawn can jump this square and it comes up to here. So this pawn can come from g2 to g4. We can
oh.
also have h2, h4. You don't need to step on h3. You can just go to h4 immediately. We also have f2. You can go directly to f4. Understood?
Okay, so does this only happen at the beginning? You cannot do that at another time.
Not just at the beginning. As long as the pawn hasn't moved, you might be in endgame and you haven't moved your pawns. So the pawn is allowed to perform a charge move. If it's still in its initial starting rank, you can still perform a charge move.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I get you, get you. So only the first time it is moved.
Yes, the first time, as long as it's the first time you're moving that pawn, you're allowed to perform a charge move. So I'm gonna try moving these pawns. So this one I will perform a charge move. So let's move to f4. We've performed the charge move. When white plays, black has to play as well. So let's say our buddy plays g6. Also, your opponent is allowed to perform a charge move. It's a two-way traffic. Your opponent can also perform a charge move. Um, in this case, you can move to h4. They can move to h6. You can decide to go ahead and do the charge move and g4. Your opponent also is allowed to perform a charge move. They can play f5. So here, as I said, a pawn can only capture diagonally. So when this pawn has played here, you have an option of playing here, and you also have an option of playing here. So these two pawns here, the only way you can move the f5 pawn, it's by it capturing the pawn on g4. Are you seeing this?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it cannot move here. It cannot capture this. I said the pawns they move forward, but they capture
They only
diagonally.
capture
Yes, they capture.
diagonal.
Yes, they capture diagonally. Okay. So here it's white to play. So of course, white can decide to play that. So let's see our buddy here. Can they can just play h takes g5. So you seen how that moves?
Yeah,
Yeah. So we have two pawns here. This one can capture here, and f can still capture g5. Are you seeing that?
yeah, yeah.
So you have to be careful. Which pawn are you going to pick? So if you capture with the f pawn, you see this, they can just move here. So now you give them a way out, but they won't move the pawn immediately. Of course, the king has to come. We have these squares, and then that is when they'll push this. And your king is coming here. Maybe you stand here, but then you'll still have to move. And after that, whoever has opposition gets to promote their pawn, and they win the game. Understood?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
any
yeah.
questions about
Yes.
the pawns? Any questions about the pawns?
I think I know the basics. Like I've understood a little bit. Yeah.
So okay, I mean we can try playing this. So let us do an example. So I will play the white pieces, you play the black pieces. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let me start with f4. It's your turn.
Let me play also F5.
Uh-huh. I will go with g4. It's your turn.
Let me go with yeah G6.
G6. Let me go with the okay g5.
Then I go with the H H5.
So h5. It's a nice move you've played. So I'll teach you about 10%. I'll teach you about it, but not now. But Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just finish with the pawns. So when you play h5, you realize this pawn, its correct move, it was supposed to move to h6, right? Because
Yeah,
pawns move one square at a time. So you this pawn is supposed to be on h6, right? But then
yeah.
you performed a charge move and moved to h5. Are you seeing that?
Mm-hmm.
So because you performed a charge move to h5, in the chess world, your opponent is allowed to just capture here. And then they pick this pawn. This pawn is taken. So your opponent can do this.
What? How?
We have something called en passant. When I'm teaching you about the pawns, a pawn moves one square at a time, right? And they only move forward.
Okay.
They capture diagonally. So when that pawn is on h7, our square, the square that pawn can move to, it's supposed to be h6. But because you're given a chance to do a charge move, to perform a charge move, you went to h5, right?
So yeah. Okay.
So when you go to h5, your opponent, they assume you're avoiding this square so that your opponent won't capture you. Okay, that's what you're doing. You're avoiding this square so that your opponent won't capture you, right?
Yeah.
So in
That
chess,
was
your opponent is allowed to capture you. They can just do this, and they pick that pawn. So it happens with all other pawns. As long as I'm already in your territory and then you fail to see that, you are penalized. There is a move called en passant. So that was a blunder from you. I'll show you how to go about this. I said pawns capture diagonally, right?
yeah.
So right now look at these your pawns. They're not defended well. Okay, the f5 is defended by g6. G6 is defended by h7, right?
Yeah.
So and you know very well, if you push this pawn here, I'm going to capture you, right?
Yeah.
And if I capture you, there is no pawn here or any other piece that can capture my pawn back. Are you seeing that?
Mm-hmm.
So you avoid all that, and then now you can bring your king or whichever other piece you have, you can bring it in so that it defends your pawn. Okay?
Okay.
But because we started with the pawn, so it is you played well. So we have pawn here, and then I capture. Now the only move you have is this. Again, I can decide to capture using that, and then now you have this pawn. I move f3, and then I can promote to a queen. You're allowed to promote to a queen or whichever piece you want. Okay, understood?
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Okay, so we go to the next piece. Okay, so let's learn about the rook or the castle. This specific piece, it moves on a straight line. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, I'm seeing.
So the rook moves on a straight line. So when this rook is here, it can capture this piece. It can also decide to capture this piece or this one or this one. Just depends with where the piece is. Okay. So as long as it's on a straight line and it can't jump any other piece, so it moves on a straight line. So this rook is here. It can decide to capture this pawn. Again, it can decide not to capture that, not to go for that pawn. It can go for this. Again, it can decide to go for this. Are you seeing the way I'm doing that?
Yeah.
So as long as it's moving on a straight line, you're allowed to move it. Okay.
Okay.
So this pawn, it doesn't have to be here. It doesn't have to be a pawn. It can be a knight, a queen. It's very far. Maybe let's say the pawn is here. Okay, I mean the queen is here. This rook will just come and capture if this pawn is not here. I mean, so you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
So the way I've pressed my rook, it is even, my board can show you all the possible squares this rook can move to. So we have e4, f4, we have d3, we have c4, we have b4, we have d5, we have d6. I've already told you of e4 and f4. We have c4 and we have b4. We also have d3. So now apart from those squares, we also have the rook can capture these pieces. Are you seeing these pieces? The different pieces on the, we have a4, we have d2, we have d7, we have g4. Understood?
Understood.
So if you move in any of those squares that I've pointed out, the rook has moved correctly. Understood? Any
Yeah.
questions? So any questions on the rook? About the rook or on the rook?
I don't have any question. That's simple. I just understood.
Okay.
Thank
So I think we should go now. It's high time we got the next piece. That should be the knight. Okay, fine. We have the knight here. A knight, it draws a letter L. Are you seeing that, or number 7? So it doesn't matter where that letter or number is facing. It can be here. It can be here. You see the way I'm doing this? So this knight, when it's
Yeah,
on the d5 square, it's attacking 8 different pawns. But I want you to look at this movement. Are you seeing this? So it can capture here. It can also decide to go here. It can come here, decide to capture here or here. It's here, it can decide to go here, capture here or here. It's here, it can come this side, capture here or here. Understood?
yeah, I understood.
So I want you to realize this knight of mine is moving. It doesn't matter where, whatever side that letter L is facing or number 7. It might be sleeping, awake, whichever, as long as it draws number 7 or letter L on the board. So that is, we can count. So you start with 0, 1, 2, then 1 square, 3. So 0, 1, 2, then here. So 0, 1, 2, then here. Are you seeing that movement?
Yeah, I'm seeing that movement. Okay.
And any questions about the knight?
I don't have any question.
So the knight also, it can jump other pieces. It's the only piece on the board that can jump other pieces. So a knight can jump other pieces. So we'll know more about that. So if you don't have any questions, we can go to the next piece. The bishop. Let's discuss the bishop. So on the board, we have the bishop with the pawns. So a bishop moves diagonally. It moves diagonally. It also captures diagonally. So we have a bishop on d4. This bishop can go diagonally up to f6. It can as well go to b6. It can as well go to b2, and we also have f2. So it can capture any of these pieces. So if I do this, these dots are pointing all the squares this bishop can move to. So a bishop cannot jump other pieces. The knight is the only piece that has that it can jump other pieces. So a bishop can't, and it moves only diagonally as long as nothing is blocking it. As long as nothing is blocking it. Do you have any questions on the bishop?
So you say that unlike the pawn that captures diagonally
Mm-hmm.
but moves uh, straight,
Mm-hmm.
the the bishop only moves diagonally.
Yeah, it only moves diagonally, it captures diagonally. The pawn moves straight and forward. I mean, the pawn moves forward but captures diagonally. It moves straight but captures diagonally. Now, for the bishop, it can only move diagonally and capture diagonally. Any other question?
Okay, that question. Can
I
move.
think now we can go to the next piece. That is the queen. So we have the queen with us here. The queen is a combination of the move of a rook and a bishop. So do you remember how the two move?
Yeah.
How do they move?
You say you say they move. Okay, the bishop moves like horizontally and
No, the bishop moves diagonally.
oh, diagonally. Sorry. The bishop moves diagonally
Mm-hmm.
and the rook
Mm-hmm.
can either goes on a straight line. So
Mm-hmm.
means it can go up, left, or right.
Yes, so the queen is a combination of those two. So a queen can move diagonally and it can also move on a straight line. So that is vertically or horizontally. So this queen, it's here, it can come here. This is straight line just like the rook. Diagonally just like the bishop. Diagonally or on a straight line just like the rook. So we have our queen here, it can move whichever direction. Again, the queen can't jump other pieces. And the queen, it's the most powerful piece on the board because of its movement. Do you have any questions on the queen?
No.
So I think we can now move to the next piece, which is supposed to be the king. So we have the king with me here on our board. A king moves one square at a time. Are you seeing this? A king moves only one square at a time. So it's the greatest piece, yet the weakest. The greatest, yet the weakest. So when I say that, it's the piece that you're supposed to checkmate. If you checkmate the piece, the king, the game comes to an end. So a chess game ends, one can resign. Another good one is you checkmating their king. So the main aim of the game is for you to checkmate your opponent and walk away with the point. Okay?
Okay.
So the king moves one square at a time. So when we have our king on d5, it can only move on these square that are next to it. Are you seeing those squares?
Okay. Yeah,
So
I've
it
seen.
can't jump other squares. We can't move this king here. Sorry for that. Yeah, you can't move this king here. It has to come here first. It can't jump. Are you seeing the way my board is? You can't jump.
Yeah.
You just have to move. So you have to always ensure your king is safe. King safety is very important. I've said you always have to checkmate your opponent. So any questions about the king?
So you said that the king can go in any direction.
Yes, as long as it's one step at a time. Yes, one step at a time.
Okay, I think I understand.
Okay, so have you understand how the chess pieces move, all of them?
Yeah.
So I think it's time we start a game. We can do a game, a quick one. We see how you're going to go about that. So I'll play the white pieces, you play the black pieces. Okay?
Okay.
So I'll start the game. Wait, I'm going for e4. Which is your move?
C5.
C5. I'll go with the knight F3.
I will go with I think knight G5. Is
Knight
it?
can.
No, G6, I think.
How does a
Is
knight
it?
move? You forgot. You forgot how a knight moves.
It's hard. It's hard to like check the board when I'm here. So let me, yeah, knight
Oh,
G6.
actually, I could just flip and make your work easy. Let me flip the board.
Yeah, it made my work easier. So knight B6.
Knight B6.
Yeah.
No, B6. A knight can't. None of your
Oh,
knights can come to B6. We only have
C6.
A6 and C6.
Yeah, C6.
Mm-hmm. I'm moving my bishop to C4.
Hmm. I'll take my my pawn from A7 to A5.
Mm-hmm. I will move my knight to. Okay. I'm playing knight G5.
I'll move my pawn from F7 to F6.
F7, F6. And I will bring my bishop to F7 with a beautiful checkmate. It's a very beautiful checkmate. Beautiful checkmate.
Oh, no, no. What can you
Okay,
do
no
here?
problem. That was our first. So that was our first game. So
Give me how many moves? 4 moves.
yes, 4 moves. No, the mate came in the fifth move, but yeah, well tried. You tried. So we're gonna see about that in our next class. We'll game.